I just wanted to, what have I done there? Sorry. Just wanted to talk to you about the importance of goal setting. So, like I said, 3 years ago, I started in February 2013. So it's almost my 3rd anniversary. Well, it was March by the time I signed up. But I did say I didn't have enough time and I didn't know enough people. But I had really clear goals about what I wanted to achieve, and I always have done. So I know that this stuff works. You know, from saying I didn't know enough people, there's now over 6,000 people in this team. My first goal in the business was to earn £200 a month part-time. I was really clear about that. I was clear that I wanted £1,000 for Christmas in my first year. And it doesn't sound like a very lofty target, but for me at the time, it felt like a big goal. My first month, I got paid £84. So I was already halfway to the target that I wanted to achieve for the whole year, if that makes sense. So because I was really focused on what I wanted to do, I found it really simple to kind of motivate myself to hit those targets. You know, when I started, I had a job, took up all my time. I worked 14-hour days, so I was really clear about why I wanted to move away from that life that I had then. And I never saw my family. I didn't really have any friendship groups at all. You know, I didn't have time to have friends, so my life really revolved around my husband and my kids, who I didn't spend a lot of time with either. And we had huge bills. You know, all our money pretty much went in one side and straight out the other every month. So even though we had good jobs, didn't have, you know, any disposable income of any description whatsoever. With a bit of a focus on my goals and a focus on getting us out of that situation, and really specific goals, which I'm going to help you with shortly. That's totally different now. And it's all been because I was really clear about what I wanted to change and how I was going to change it. So now I've got a life full of friends, particularly through this business, really positive people, outgoing people, friendly people, driven people, people who are on the same journey, really supportive people. And that's, you know, you can't put a price on what the value of those friendships means to me and to all of us who've got them. So really encourage you to go and make some friends in the business as well.
She's fucking earned some money this year.
And then I also have a load of time. So time is a big thing for me. The time to spend time with my family and my husband. You know, all my relationships are better than they've ever been, with my family, with my husband, with my kids. Way better, all thanks to having some clear goals about how I wanted to achieve that. And we're now, you know, totally debt free, and that was a huge target for us. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as well, about how you can set goals that are really clear about that. Because from the very beginning of seeing what this financial opportunity was with this business, I was like, I need to use this to alleviate that situation. You know, I had some really big credit card bills, really big loans. So I used everything I had and totally focused on getting rid of that debt, so that I knew, and I know now, the money that comes in is ours, and I don't owe it to anybody else. So that was a really massive target for me. So I want you to understand why it's really important, because if you're really clear about what your goals are and what life is going to be like when you hit them, you'll never take, I don't mean take time off like you'll never put your feet up, because we all do that a little bit, but these will be the things that make you get out of bed in the morning. These will be the things that make you make the extra phone call, talk to the extra person, go the extra mile, because it's going the extra yard when you can't be bothered. That's the stuff that really makes a difference. And if you're clear about your goals, you'll never not do that. Because, for example, one of my goals was be able to take my kids to school in the morning, because I was never able to do that. I had to take them to, you know, before school club. If I was here at all, I was quite often away. So I was really clear. By the end of the year, I want to be able to take my kids to school every day. And that's what I do now. But when that wasn't happening, if I had to make an extra phone call or talk to an extra person, I wouldn't not do it or not go to that event, because I thought, I'm going to be a day further away from being able to take my kids to school if I do that. So that's the stuff that you need to be really clear about, something that you feel in there that makes you drive towards hitting those goals. So they have to be not wishy-washy, not just like airy-fairy, I want more time or I want more money. It has to be really specific goal and why you want to do it. So think about somebody like who's building a house, for example. If you stumble across somebody who was, you know, putting a few bricks down, building a bit of a house, and ask them, what's this house going to look like when it's finished? And they go, I have no idea. How would a house builder even get started building a house like that? They have no idea what it's going to look like when it's finished. That, you know, architect has a complete vision of what that house is going to look like when it's built, what each room looks like, what the furniture in each room looks like, where the chimney goes, where the front door is, how many windows it's got. So you have to have that vision and goal and reality for your life about what this is going to do for you and how you're going to drive towards that. So more money, more time, it's not enough. It needs to be more clear than that, because you have to be driven by the opportunity. That's what I'm trying to get at. You have to be, it's the opportunity with this business that drives you. Normally, if you think about what you do in your job or whatever, normally, it's often negativity that drives you to do things, that drives you to take action. So you get up in the morning when the alarm goes off to go to work because you have to, because you'll be sacked if you don't, because you won't be able to pay the bill if you don't. So it's not, in our lives as adults, it's nearly always negative outcomes that drive us to take action in our lives. This business is about being driven by the opportunity, understanding the opportunity, so that you're driven to take action to achieve that opportunity. Because once you see and feel what your goals are, you'll always be driven by what the opportunity is to hit them. You'll always go that extra yard to hit those goals because you can see what they are. But that's opportunity and not negativity. And that can be quite a tough one for people to get their heads around. Like, oh, I can't be bothered today. I'm like, what? What do you mean you can't? Like, if you knew what your goals were and you knew, you know, that you doing that extra event today means you can take your kids to school next year, there's no way you wouldn't do it. So you have to really feel in what they are. And I want to help you do that. So I want you to get a pen and paper if you haven't already and write these down. So this is just the starting point, remember. What I want to do is give you the kind of framework today or tonight to go away and build on this so that you have a really clear goal plan for yourself. So there are 5 pillars, and these are just mine. You can add other ones if you want. These are just mine and that I want to share with you. So the first pillar is your financial goals. So what are your financial goals? These could be really specific. I know people say, you know, everything's not about money, but money gives you choices, and debt takes your choices away. So I talked a little bit earlier about some of the financial targets that we had. So these can be anything like paying off a credit card or paying off multiple credit cards, which is what ours were, paying off a loan, paying off your mortgage or some of your mortgage. Bear in mind, actually, some people have a life goal to be mortgage free, right? Which most people do. I'd love to be mortgage free. With our business, if you can say your mortgage is £600 a month, if you can earn £600 a month through this business, you're effectively mortgage free, because that's £600 a month you didn't have before. So you don't need to earn £160,000 and pay off your mortgage. You need to earn enough to pay that monthly mortgage so that money's freed up to do other stuff. So be creative about what your goals are. You can be mortgage free effectively without paying off your whole mortgage. So think about, you might want to pay off your overdraft, things like that are costing you money all the time. A good way of working out how much things cost you is if you work out how much you would earn in a month, like how many customers you'd have to get to earn £200, I don't know, something like that. Work it out, and then think, if you've got a credit card that's costing you £200 a month, that's like 10 customers. So you end up double whammy, pay off the credit cards. You don't have that outgoing anymore, but you also have the income from those customers. So it's about being clever about understanding how much things really truly cost you. So that's the first pillar, financial. What money do you want to pay off? Debts you want to settle? Anything like that. The second one is second pillar is your emotional goals. So these are the things that people might call materialistic, for example. But they're things that make you feel good. Something that makes you feel good, you'll take action to achieve it. So it could be, you know, for the women out there, it might be a handbag. For the guys, it might be a car, or I don't know, be very sexist now. Women love cars too. Mine was to buy a Range Rover, and it was one of the happiest days of life when I finally, you know, achieved that goal and drove it out of the garage. It was incredible. It could be a pair of shoes, it could be something, anything, might be a holiday, I don't know, something that will make you feel good and like almost reward yourself for what you're achieving. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having getting the fruits of your labor in a materialistic way. So the emotional goals are specifically things that will make you feel good about yourself, make you feel, you know yourself. You slide on a jacket that you've saved up for, or you get on that plane to go on a holiday that you really, really want, how good that feels. So what are your emotional goals, and what's it going to feel like when you achieve them? The third pillar is your family goals. So these can be things like, I said, mine was about taking my kids to school every day, and that then turned into being able to pick them up from school every day as well, which at the time seemed like such an unachievable thing to ever be able to do. I was like, can I have one end of the day or the other? Because at the beginning I had neither, and now I have both. I drop them off and pick them up every single day, and so does my husband, and neither of us used to do it. They were at school from 8 till 6 every single day, and now they're there 9 till 3:30. So it's had such a huge impact on our family life, that one goal that I had, which was to take them to school every day, means that we spend 50 hours a week now more with our kids between us. 50 hours a week. Imagine what that's going to do for them as people as they grow up. So that single goal, about which started as a selfish goal for me because I wanted to take them to school, has actually morphed into this amazing, life-changing thing for all of us. So what are your family goals? Get your family involved in them too. Speak to your partner, speak to your kids. Where would they like to go on holiday? You know, if they could choose anywhere in the world, ask them. It might not be where you think, but what it'll do if you involve your family and your partner in your family goals is when you have to come on a Zoom call and they're saying you should be having your tea or watching a film, or you have to go to an event, or you're away overnight, you can then, you know, you've created your family goals together. So these are the things that you need to do to help the family achieve those goals. So it's something that you're all doing rather than it being your little thing that you do on your own. And it can be really helpful at times to have had that conversation with your family. The fourth goal is I call it your charity goal. So the bit about giving back. So it's extremely personally rewarding to give something back, whether it's to the community, whether it's to it can be your parents. You know, your parents spend a lot of money, a lot of time, energy and effort, or whoever brought you up, bringing you up. So it could be just as simple as, you know, sending them on holiday, sending them out for a meal. It could be a charity that's close to your heart for any number of reasons. Mine, I'll give you an example, but mine was about, right from the beginning, I said I had a goal where I wanted to help my sister with an orphanage that she set up in Zambia years ago. Every year I was like, I'm going to go over, I'm going to go and spend some time there, you know, from when I was a teenager, and I never did. And then I got married and then I didn't have time. And so as soon as I started earning money in this business, I said, I'm going to give a significant amount of money to that charity that my sister's, you know, spent years building and looking after. And I was able to do that last year, and it was just such a fabulous thing to be able to do. I felt great for it, but they benefited from it a lot as well. So find something close to you and make a target that you're going to give something back to you know, to the world, but to whatever it is that's close to you. And that can be a really big driver for people. And the fifth goal is your business goals. So these are the really specific, within this business, what do you want to achieve? So it could be 12 Club, it could be National Marketing Director, it could be you want to be Presidential Marketing Director 100 Club by the end of the year, whatever it is. But it needs to be you know, big enough for you to really go for it. So don't try not to think small. Try and think, if you're a dealer now and just getting started, don't just put like STD by the end of the year. You know, have real belief in what's possible. Look around you, go through Facebook, do a bit of Facebook stalking. What are other people doing? How are other people achieving stuff? You know, what if somebody else has done QNMD in a year, why can't you? If somebody else has got 35 customers, why can't you? If somebody else has a 12 Club and they're, you know, why couldn't you do it too? You can. So you need to be really clear about what you want to do and how you're going to do it. So they're the 5 pillars: financial, emotional, family, charity and business. So go through those 5 pillars, write yourself 2 or 3 goals underneath each of those. And then what I want you to do is, when you've done that, they have to be what I call SMART goals. So SMART stands for, and I'll go through each of these, and for each of those goals, so let's use one of mine as an example. So let's use paying off a credit card, for example. Okay, so SMART, if you just put down the left hand side of your page, S for SMART is specific. So I want to, you know, pay off my credit cards is not a specific goal. Your specific goal is, I want to pay off my Capital One credit card in full. So that's much more specific than I want to pay off my card. So you have to be really specific about what your goal is. And then the M stands for measurable. So you have to know when you've achieved a goal. So things like, I want to pay off my credit card, or I want to, that's quite, you can see when you know you've either done that or you haven't done it. Does that make sense? It's like, it has to be measurable. So something you can go, yes, tick the box, I've achieved that. So something very measurable, and something achievable. So absolutely be ambitious. Definitely, the more ambitious you are, you know, reach for the moon, reach for the stars, and you'll definitely get somewhere between here and there. But you have to be ambitious, but also it has to be achievable. So it has to be something that's achievable within this business. So there's no point in trying to achieve a position that doesn't exist, for example. It has to be something that you know that when you get there, that's the thing, you're going to feel like you've really achieved something. So it's stretching but achievable. Realistic is another one. So if that credit card had been £1 million, it's probably not realistic for me to have said, I want to pay off that credit card this year, because I wasn't going to, you know, £1 million was just not realistic. So it's about balancing it between, you know, stretching but realistic. So is that, you can look at what people are earning, and if your credit card is £5,000, you can pay that off this year if you really focus and you want to do it. definitely can. A couple of promotions and some decent customer base, that's all you need to pay off that, but you have to then maybe make some sacrifices along the way to do that. But that's your goal. And so make it realistic. And then the last one, and it's really important, is the T, and it stands for time bound. So you have to decide when you're going to achieve this by. Otherwise, Monday turns into Tuesday, turns into next week, turns into next month. You get to the end of the year, you haven't done anything because you haven't had a specific time. So mine was by October, and I started in March, and I was like, that credit card will be. So take the want to out of your. I don't want to hear any hopefullys, might do's, wanna do's. I want to hear will and am. I am going to do this. I will do that, and this is going to happen. Because if you are honest, if you use that language with yourself, I will be 12 Club. I will pay off that credit card by October. I will hit NMD by August. I will be on stage in Birmingham. And I don't know, whatever it is for you, your brain and your actions start to reflect the way that you talk to yourself. So, you know, if you hear yourself, and you have to correct yourself. I do it all the time. Not so much now, but certainly when I started, you hear yourself saying, I'll try, or I'll give that a go, or hopefully by the end of the year, hopefully, forget hopefully, you have to say by the end of the year, I will be this, or I will have done this or achieved this. So hopefully that helps you. You have to go away and put some meat on the bones of that, but basically that's what it's about. Those 5 pillars, the goals within each of them, and encourage you to have maybe at least one in each pillar. Some of them will be more important to you than others. But try and have at least one in each pillar, and then go back and make them really smart goals. And the last thing I want you to do when you've done that is really feel what it's going to feel like when you achieve them. So, for example, if one of your goals is to by let's say by December, I'm going to have bought a brand new Audi TT. Okay, so that was one of I think it was Romy Calypso's target for last year, and she just bought one now. So she went, and this is what I want you to do. If that's your goal, go and test drive one. Go and get in one, drive it, and see how it feels to drive that car. If your goal is to move into a beautiful house in a specific area, go and view the house. Go and walk around it. Go and see what it would feel like to live in that house. Mine was really all I had to do was go and drop the kids off at school and feel how it felt to do that, because I never did it. So it doesn't have to be something difficult, but really encourage it. Or if it's a holiday, go and get the brochures, look at the things. See what hotel would you stay in? What flights would you get? What would it look like and feel like? Because that'll really bring it to life, and that'll really motivate you too. That's a really key thing to kind of bring your goals to life. And so I've the last bit I want to do is just give you, people always ask me kind of what my top tips are. So I thought, well, I had quite a few of you on the call at the same time. I'll give you some, run through some top tips on how I would achieve some of that stuff. Sorry, someone's asked the question on there. Oops. Which I'll probably, if you've got questions like that, someone's asked about 12 Club, inbox me or stick it on the Elite Academy and I'll tell you in there, or ask you what Ryan should be able to tell you. But I'm going to cover all of that stuff in all of these calls, and I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything once a fortnight as well, like a question and answer session. Okay, so top tips about how to just get moving. Number one really is when you've done all this, it doesn't take that long. I'm talking like half an hour to set yourself aside to write all this down, but it is important that you're clear about what your goals are. But write them down and keep them somewhere. Like, read them every morning, read them every night before you go to sleep, pin them up on the back of the bathroom door. I don't care, but have them somewhere where you see them every single day. And you've got to ask yourself, at least once a day, I want you to ask yourself, are you doing everything that it takes really to achieve those goals? So these are the things that are really important to you. So are you doing everything that it takes to do them? So when you lie in bed at night, just before you go to sleep, ask yourself honestly. You don't have to tell anybody else. And at the end of the day, they're your goals and your dreams and your targets. So you be honest with yourself. So that's number one. Number two, you need to be on the products. You need to have tried all the products at least. You definitely need to be on the capsules. You need to be on the premium capsules. You should be on the Child's Health Study if you're on the premium capsules. You can't recommend a product that you don't take. So you'll always have more success if you use all the products. If you don't want to take the booster, at least buy it and try it so that you know what it tastes like, know how to use it, stuff like that. You don't have to, the capsules are the product that you need to be on yourself, and I would advise that you at least have the shakes, once or twice a week if you don't use them all the time. I just have them for breakfast every single day and they're brilliant, but you need to be on the products. Number three, you need to know your story. It's so important to know your story. That's the single biggest tool you've got in this business is your own experience. So you need to be able to tell your story in 60 seconds. And I'm going to do a training call on how to do that. Those of you who are coming to, there's a training event in Bolton that Katie Raby's organised, and I'm doing a guest speaking spot at that, and I'm going to cover that, how to do your story in 60 seconds as part of that training. So if you want to get yourselves along to that, I'd thoroughly recommend it. The speakers are incredible. So all the details are on the Facebook groups. Get started. So the longer you leave it, the longer it's going to take. It's as simple as that. So I would get started tonight. Certainly don't get started any later than tomorrow. But just get on with it. You know, I say that to people all the time. Like, stop. You have to do stuff. You have to get up and get moving and do stuff. So just get started. Whatever you do, just do something, and never give up ever. You know, hopefully this goal setting stuff will help you to never even be tempted to give up, because people say to me, oh, they used to, you know, in interviews and stuff, like, have you ever had a time when you felt like giving up? I'm like, no, like, why would you, when you clear what your goals are and you've got a methodology to achieve them, or a business that's going to give you the chance to take your kids to school every day and pay off those massive credit cards? Like, no, because giving up means I'll never take my kids to school and I'll never pay that bloody credit card off. So no. So if your goals are really clear, you'll never feel like you want to pack it in, because what's the alternative? Go back to what was happening before. Well, what was happening before was crap, so I don't want to go back to that. So no. You know, you just never give up. This is why this stuff is so important. So you've got that and you think, actually, this is why I'm doing this every day. Get some friends, really important, accountability buddies or sideline friends, or make some friendship groups. This is meant to be loads of fun. Simon said it in his video, you know, have some fun on the way. These goals are achievable and they're massive when you get them, but you have fun on the way. It's not work. Get stuck in, get involved, go to events, feel the love, all of that stuff. Like, jump in with both feet. Don't worry about anything. You can't do it wrong, and you can only learn. You don't fail from anything. The worst that happens is you have a learning experience. So just get stuck in and go for it. Have total belief in the products. There's nothing like it on the market. There's nothing even that comes close to it. There's nothing even that is within 15 years research-wise of being even close to what we have as a product. So, you know, have total belief in that and know that that's just a fact. And it's the same with the business. You know, I've done a lot of research, and there's no other company like ours and people like ours out there. So you've got to be really proud of what you're part of and where we're going as a business. Speak to people, speak to people, speak to people. If you don't speak to anybody, no one's going to knock on your door and say, can I buy the product from you? You have got to get out there and speak to people. Recommit to yourself and your goals every single day. So if you're going to go to the effort now of writing these goals down and understanding what they are, recommit to them every day. Look at them and go, right, yeah, no, I do want to do that. We all get distracted. Stuff comes along that distracts us in life. I totally appreciate that, but you've got to not get distracted by it. And when you're clear about what your goals are, you won't. Be yourself. God, I can't stress that enough. Like, don't try and fake it till you make it. Just be you. If someone buys the product from you, it's because of something you've told them. If someone joins the business, it's because of something you've told them. So you have to continue to always be humble, always remember where you started, and always just be you. Just be yourself, and, you know, and tell your own story, and no one can ever question that. Look after your customers, especially at the moment. Like, right now is the biggest month of the year is January, and people are looking for brand new starts, brand new health kick, all sorts of stuff. If you look after people properly now, they'll become your future distributors. You know, they'll be on the Zoom call this time next year because you looked after them now. It's so important. And go to work on yourself. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I can recommend that you do outside of, you know, of the goal setting, is do some personal development. Find out about you'll probably find out through your goal setting what really drives you and what motivates you. But go to work on yourself, become a better version of yourself, become healthier, become fitter, become happier, become more confident, do lots of personal development, and it will pay off. Okay, I'm going to wrap up briefly now with just a couple of any other business stuff I wanted to cover while I've got you on the call. So Durham this Saturday, please try and get there yourselves. If not, it's brilliant for potentials as well. It's called Mum in a Million, but you don't have to be a mum to come. So Dr. Tamara Hunter, some of you will have been on the call with her a couple of weeks ago. She's only over from Australia this one time. And we've managed to get her to do this event for us on Saturday as a one-off, a massive. She's never spoken at any UK event before, so we're really honoured that she's going to do this for us, and she will put to bed any queries or questions or insecurities or anything that you or your friends or your family might have about the product. So I can't recommend enough that you get there. We've also got 3 really good, successful mums in the business talking about their businesses and how it's changed their lives. So can't recommend it enough. All the details are on the Elite Academy page and on my page and everywhere else. But also Tamara's agreed to stick around for an hour after the event too, so you can have some one-to-one time with her, maybe have a chat with her about anything specific questions that you've got. So really encourage you to get yourselves along and bring your team members and your potentials along to that. The Elite Academy incentive for January has started. There are, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think there's 4 prizes up for grabs. I'm going to post that either tonight, but it's a bit late now, probably first thing in the morning. But have a look for that and make sure there's everything to play for in January. I don't know who's going to win that, but some really cool designer type prizes to be won. So really excited about that too. And then finally, this year I built my business on events, and throughout 2013 I was an absolute event junkie, and I've stayed that way. This year is going to be the same. This year is going to be the year of the event. I can tell. John and I have discussed it over and back and over and back, and it's the only, there's a number of different ways now. There's a number of different ways to have events. So Facebook parties are something that people have started to do that I'm going to cover on another call. These Zoom events, one-to-ones in coffee shops, but everything needs to build up to Birmingham. So Birmingham is at the end of February. If you're serious about your business, serious about these goals and making them work for them, you have to be in Birmingham. That is they're the events where you really get your rhino skin, where you really see what you're part of and really feel part of something bigger than just you on your phone or chatting to me on Zoom or whatever. So I can't stress enough how important it is to get you and your guys to Birmingham and really experience that and learn from God, Jeff Bertie's coming from America, so there's no reason you need more than to get along. He is one of the best speakers in the business that we've got. He's incredible. So that's all from me. Thanks very much for dialing in. I massively appreciate your time. If you've got any feedback on what you found useful or anything, I'm going to put a little thread on Elite Academy. Please comment on there and let me know what's been useful, what more information you need, any other information about kind of calls that you'd like me to do, training, or people you'd like to hear from, that kind of thing. This isn't my team, it's yours. So I need you to tell me what you want from the business and what you want from me, to help you get to achieve all of those goals. But good luck with it. Let me know how you get on with it as well. Like, let me know some of your goals and what they are, and if I can help you achieve them, that's what I'm here to do. So thanks very much for dialing in. Night, everybody, and see you all soon. Bye.